Hello, everybody. I am Jenitha John, the past chairman of Global IIA. I just wanted to welcome you to the Audit Championship Games final. Thank you so much for joining us at this event. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you who have generously helped us make this event come together to become a success. I'm not going to name names. The people are online and they know who they are. So thank you so much for creating this initiative. It's been wonderful to see the competitive banter, to see the spirit, and to see us engage on this level, knowing full well that gamified training is the way of the future. So a very warm welcome to each one of you. You are all winners today, irrespective of where you or what position you attain during this competition. Welcome. And let the games begin. Good luck to all of you.
Welcome, Jenitha, for the grand final of the European Audit Championship. It's a pleasure to have you with us and to welcome you, especially as you were one of the first movers to see how attractive gamified training is and the topic of Audit Championship. Welcome.
Thank you, Dominic. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you. And I also want to commend you on this fantastic initiative. And then talent was the second T in TAT. How do we gain knowledge and wisdom? And what types of training do we need to provide valuable insight and help our organizations prepare for the future? And the last T was around tenacity and courage, to always do the right thing, serving all our stakeholders impactfully, including the public, thereby achieving our goals. So for me, embracing those concepts or those attributes of TACTT, technology, agility, collaboration, talent, and tenacity, absolutely key in terms of these are the practical things we need to consider on how do we change that in our audit approach to serve our organizations better.
I fully agree, and I love this acronym because it helps so much and easy to understand the current challenges at the moment. So probably as you were talking about talent, you give us a quote about gamification. So what do you think about gamified training in general?
So for me, understanding the benefits of gamified training is absolutely important. So let's face it, right? Throughout our lives, we compete, whether we're at school, whether we're at university, whether we're participating in sports, whether it's getting an Emmy Award, Academy Award, or, in the entertainment industry. We compete in politics. We compete as countries. And yes, we compete in the corporate environment. So infusing this gameplay and leveraging competitiveness not only makes training much more dynamic, it also significantly increases the learner engagement aspect as well. It's a safe way of learning. It allows us to fail. It builds a rehearsal environment where you use different scenarios to train people. It's fun. You have proper knowledge transfer. It increases the retention rates and how people tend to remember things. It gives instant feedback. It engages the audience. And for me, that's important. Understanding our audience, understanding our competencies and the constitution of our teams in internal audit itself. Yes, we have millennials, we have older folk, that have different types of knowledge as well. How do we transfer that? How do we keep everybody engaged? It offers customized training. So what it does is it uses insights, it uses scenarios of that particular environment, and it builds on that. So it also, it creates an environment where you're using experiences, and hence the retention and that ability to remember the training is so important. And no doubt it builds teams. How do we react towards a common challenge? You also have a reward mechanism in there as well that's gratifying for participants. And for me, that inducing the healthy competition is what's key. So gamified training for me is it offers that, and it allows us to be swift, it allows us to be agile, and it actually aligns with the tact aspect that I spoke about. Agility, collaboration, tenacity, talent, and technology. So it fits into those aspects, and that's why I find it absolutely intriguing, and that's why I was one of the first movers on this to actually support you guys on this initiative.
That's amazing, Jenitha. So you have been around a lot of different topics in the world, especially in the last year, and being in contact with a lot of people, different internal auditors. And there is, yes, I would say there is a cross-cultural aspect in gamified training and gamification, as you said. So Anthony last time said, learning must be fun. So do you think people would enjoy that competition also in other continents like Africa, for example?
Oh, absolutely. And yes, you're right. Throughout my virtual tours around the world, I actually saw it working in action I saw the interest being piqued across the world in different countries, different continents. It's an imperative. And as the saying goes, time waits for no man. So we need to stop procrastinating and do it now. And when you asked me earlier, what are the practical implementation ideas, innovative training methods that we need to adopt to upskill competencies in audit, for me, gamification does it, because it's the interest factor, it's the fun factor, it's the engagement, it's the retention. The fact that we can share knowledge in this borderless world through virtual environments also is an indication of the pace we can do things at, the pace we can change the way we work. Leveraging wisdom across the different continents, I see people wanting to do that more and more often. And yes, they were able to do it during this pandemic, and they're still doing it now. The way we ramp up data analytics, that's also a practical way we can get this done. Collaboration across the three lines, the synergy in terms of using existing work platforms, building stakeholder engagement frameworks and living by it. So for me, those are things that everybody seems to be finding a challenge. And when you ask me, is there an interest across the world? Absolutely. Because we have millennials, we have baby boomers, we have the whole Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z taking shape within internal audit, and we need to cater for those expectations, cater for those needs, because adapting our way of learning is absolutely vital in terms of how we serve and the value we create for our organizations.
That's quite interesting to say also on our track record in the last 8 years, to see that on the one hand, Rainer has just published last weekend something about silver liners. So we have seen that in the past, people with 50 plus have had in average a 20% higher ranking result or successful result there. So we are curiously looking forward how the results in ranking between the different countries as well as the MBPs will look like. And on the other hand, I think gamification or gamified training gives us a large opportunity to attract younger people, also from university, to show up how modern and innovative internal audit could be. What do you think? How can we bring in such younger people also for our profession?
And I think this for me is the way we don't actually just work with universities and work with students. We have to create the interest at school level, the passion for internal auditing at school level. I mean, I tell a story every time I address audiences where, schools generally have career days. And I went off to my daughter's school, and when I actually asked the group of children, how many of you would like to be an internal auditor? Not a single one put their hand up, because they didn't have a clue what an internal auditor does and what an internal auditor, how does an internal auditor serve. And then when I asked how many of you want to be a pilot or an astronaut, oh, the excitement in the room was fantastic. So for me, it's not about just bringing in students at tertiary level, but it's actually creating that passion and enthusiasm at school level. This is where we need to actually get youngsters excited to see that this profession is fun. This is how we do things. This is how we change organizations, ultimately how we change the world, how we keep people honest, how we serve the public. That's what we need to be doing. There we need to create the interest and the passion. And I'm so glad that the IIA with Anthony has taken this up and is going to create that different level of interest and passion among society about internal audit.
I appreciate that a lot, and it's really curious to hear about the children. And I think, yes, it's a fantastic topic to really communicate about internal audit in our profession in a younger age, really to get people attracted much more earlier, really in school. And I haven't thought about that in the past so much, but you're fully right. Like external auditors often give courses in college already, or in high school, to attract people and to get to know their topic. And I think, yes. And if we can contribute today a little bit with that live stream, also to make it more popular for our internal audit profession, as everybody can join us only using a mobile. So probably there are some children cheering her fathers and her mothers on this journey at the grand final of the European Audit Championship. So looking forward a little bit, so how do you see the current development, as we have already demand, especially from Africa, for example, or from some countries of Latin America like Colombia, as well as Asia Pacific? What do you think, how could this audit championship grow?
Okay, so I think what's important and what I've noticed and what I've loved about this audit championship is that, the excitement of participants, the vibe, the competitive banter, and the overall spirit to be better and serve more efficiently as internal auditors is what would actually cause others to be interested and cause others to want to participate. And that's what I see happening. Because in my chats that I've had with different countries, they actually ask the question, so when is this going to be introduced for us, So what I'm glad about is that, and I understand that there is current dialogue with the IIA Global on making this initiative worldwide. So yes, we have interesting times ahead, and I still believe that embracing this type of training combined with other interesting, fun activities will certainly unleash the potential of internal audit for our stakeholders. So like I said to you, throughout my virtual tours, my virtual conferences, I've seen the interest being piqued. People are appreciating the competitiveness, the banter, the spirit that this is done under. But ultimately for me, I feel so much of gratification, and it's so heartening to know that what we're doing here is actually unleashing the potential, the true potential of internal audit for our stakeholders. And we're doing it in a fun way, in a way that's active, in a way that's, again, borderless. It's virtual environment. It's going to allow us to become so much more agile. And that's what I appreciate about it. So really the current development for me has to grow. And it will grow. If we look at Charlie Wright, our current chairman, and his team around future ready, technology is a key aspect in it. Technology was a key aspect in mine as well, and the previous chairman as well. So there's a lot that we have to do. But again, 2022, 2023, I see the uptake of this initiative rising, and we need to build the resources to be able to get this done sooner rather than later.
Thank you so much, Jenitha, supporting this unique audit initiative and to be with us today. So probably one key message at the final topic of our interview to all the followers today at YouTube and at the grand final.
Well, it's good luck to everybody that's participating, and no matter what position you attain, you have achieved, you have learned. The one message for me is the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. That's a saying that I ended off my presentation, my theme for the year 2020-2021. And it's vital that we don't procrastinate. We embrace this, because learning is key to the way we deliver our value add to the organizations we serve.
Thank you so much. It's amazing talking with you about internal audit and our profession. Thank you for being with us and supporting this audit initiative for the Audit Championship.
Absolute pleasure and good luck and enjoy it. Have lots of fun.